Hello, welcome to the Everyday Players podcast, Gameweek 19, with your host Matthew Chan, secret author Tony Buxton, and
Welcome everyone.
And here he is, Soucek's biggest fan, Ryan Chan.
Soucek's biggest fan. I don't know about that, like.
No, yeah, there's only you like him, mate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. So anyway, this game week, I think we're all a little bit stressed. It's been, obviously, there's a big double game week next week, so I'll ask you your plans on that. But this week, we've all struggled a little bit, haven't we?
Well, I've 3 hits, so actually I'm not too bad. I've managed to save mine, even though my players haven't done well so far, but I managed to field 11 players, which is a bonus.
Yeah, that's what the 3 hits are for, using it at a time like this. Like, obviously, if you've kept it, like me and Chan haven't, but you have, and probably other players, that's the perfect time for it. But unfortunately, we don't have 20 more 3 hits, which we're going to need every week now to the end of the season because of the state of it.
Yeah, well, exactly. There's new news every week. Obviously, it's harder than ever with COVID. Breaking news. Southampton and Leeds is now being rearranged. Was it Shrewsbury? Your mate, wasn't it? Brad Walker. He's got COVID.
Yep. So it's back on, which is not a good thing for me, really. Got McCarthy and Bamford, and then I was planning on getting Rodrigo as well, little bit differential, but then because he's only down to 1 game, I won't be getting him now.
Were you getting Leeds players, Tony?
Yeah, it was my plan, obviously. I play with a 5th midfielder, don't I? That I rotate every couple of weeks, like a proper cheap ass player. And I was going to bring Jack Harrison in, and I have Dallas, who's unbelievable at getting points, but that's down the Swanee, innit?
To be fair, with my team, I was going to get Bamford, but it gave me a little bit of a dilemma. I'll show you my team that I was going to do for next week. Let me just make sure I'll get the right one. Okay, so that was my team there. So got McCarthy, Stones, Diaz with a double, Robertson with a double, Dyer, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Son, Soucek, El Ghazi, Kane. So I was going to get like a West Ham defender because I think they might be vital next week. Play Burnley and West Brom, whether that be Ogbonna or Soufal. But it was going to give me a little bit of a dilemma with getting Bamford because I'd have like a 5-4-1. And I'd have to drop Bamford or, El Ghazi it will be. But I think now they've got that single game. I think I still may get Bamford, but it's made my decision a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's just made a decision for you, really, hasn't it? Now you know not to get him.
Yeah, it's still very early days as well. I'm very confident you can count on more games getting cancelled due to COVID in that double week period. So I don't know. I wouldn't really touch your team until right before the deadline.
That's exactly what I've been doing. I've been waiting last minute to do transfers. Like I've had them planned, like who I'm going to get, this and that, but I'll literally just wait until the last minute because you just never know what happens these days. And even though you do counting like price rises and stuff like that, but I just think it's not worth it, really.
Yeah. I've done that this week. I've waited last minute. Usually I'm quick to draw my gun, to hit the trigger.
Yeah, it's shite though this season, isn't it?
Can't at this moment in time.
Games cancelled. Just check Tom Neal's team who are playing in the Stanhope, and he doesn't have any Southampton or Leeds players. Shock. Not unaffected at all.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm fuming with it, mate. I can't deal with the look of my opponents each week. Just if we're all gonna get done over, right? Let it be everyone's stuff. Putting me against people who are fine. I can't handle it anymore. Spurs, let it be called off. Why are you giving them a new opponent when my opponents have 3 Spurs players? Give it up, man.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he's captained him and all. I'm sure it's Captain Kane and Vice Son. I'd have been laughing there.
You can't have it both ways, Tony.
I can't have it anyway, mate. No way, no.
Have you not got any of them, Tony?
I have Son, but he's just a cancelling out player, isn't he? I don't want Kane. He's my most hated fantasy player, Harry Kane, because I don't spend big money up top. It's not my game at all. I rely on a powerful midfield and average defenders. But everyone has Kane, and most people captain him, and he's always on for bonus. He just has to show up, and he's getting 6 bonuses captain.
Yeah.
I can't bear Tottenham. I can't bear Kane so far this year.
Need to get him. So obviously, with that in mind, anyway, Tony, you had a bit of a. Obviously, a lot of people chose to wild card and everything this week. You had a little bit of a moan about that, so that went against you. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd already accepted the loss. Already accepted it because I knew I just didn't have the team. There's no disrespect to anyone, but I can't wrap my head around why anyone would use the wild card on this week. 3 or 4 managers between the 2 leagues I've seen have a squad now with a depth of 4 teams, which is going to cripple you after next week's game week. You're going to be taking minuses for weeks and weeks to fix your team, and you're going to lose the trail on playoffs. But yeah, it's a mystery. But each to their own, I guess. It just means I'm going to lose by about 80 instead of 40 now. But
because do you think, obviously I totally get what you're saying, and with myself, I'm not thinking of wild carding because I think I've only 2 transfers away from doing get the team I like. But it depends what situation you're in. I think if you're struggling, you're down near the bottom of the leagues, you don't have many points either. I think sometimes if you wait 5-6 weeks, it's too long.
Yeah, I get you, but go on.
I was just going to say last year, you know, I was near the bottom, wasn't I, for half a year, and it was my fantasy league. I was fuming, and I was I done a wild card December 28th straight away last year.
No, I agree if you're struggling, but my point is it's the game weeks. All the games are getting called off. You don't know who's going to be playing, and wildcard is such a powerful tool. It's not to be used until you have definite intel on what's going on and who's playing. Next week there's Leeds cancelled. If people who put triple Leeds, I know people put triple Arsenal, freaking hell, that way.
We mentioned it, didn't we?
Yeah, go on.
All the Arsenal players.
No, what that tiny little spell they've had is not going to continue, and Saka's form is not going to continue and blow out the water. It ain't going to happen. Tierney's probably not going to get any more goals or assists. I don't believe it's going to happen. And I've seen more than 4 or 5 players who've went triple Arsenal, and that's blown my mind even more than the wild card.
Yeah,
I hope
we did this week because I've got Saka and Tierney in my free hit, and even that was a bit daring picking 2 Arsenal players. Really, I mean, Saka was a little bit of a late call, but Tierney, I mean, Crystal Palace form. It's a decent fixture, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, but at least it's a free hit. Your team refreshes. You're not going to have to spend a month taking minuses to get these terrible players back out your team when it goes to shit in a week or 2.
Yeah.
So what are your plans then, Tony? Obviously, I'll just quickly show your team here for next week. So that's your team in there at the moment. You got McCarthy, Dallas, Stones, me, Justin, Henderson, De Bruyne, Son, Fernandes, Salah, and Wilson. I mean, to be honest, you've got a lot of, at the time it was double plays, but I guess that Leeds Southampton game's just down to 1 game now.
Yeah.
What are your plans for it?
There's slowly a bit of dead built up in my team. I've kept them 4 big dogs in midfield for ages now, even when they're hitting a bit of bad form, they're staying, and I just rotate the player like Henderson. He's my 5th midfielder, so he's getting rotated. I need to take me back out and strengthen that back line. It's going to be Sayas, obviously, if he keeps playing after the double game week, because they only have 1 game. And then obviously I'm having issues up top. Callum Wilson, that poor boy, he just can't do anything with that team he's playing for. Brewster ain't going to do anything soon, is he? And Calvert-Lewin.
Have you thought about getting Ryan Fraser, your favourite player?
Yeah, I respect him. I don't blame him. Why not? Not getting played. I know. I'll go on and I'll get sent off. Have some of that, Brucey boy.
Yeah. Deliberately.
I told you as well. Sheffield United.
Yeah,
Derby,
you did.
That Derby thing, yeah.
Yeah.
The team that they beat, Newcastle. So there you go. If you want to beat a curse, play Newcastle.
Yeah, they need to seriously have a look and a revamp of their entire existence. Like that team, Christ Almighty, there's no desire or ambition on the pitch to do anything at all. Like nothing. And he's clearly struggling with the job, isn't it? Do they have to look at a manager again? Do they need to bring someone in before the month ends or what? Someone's got to change there.
Yeah, they played like 5-4-1, didn't they, against Sheffield United, team with 2 points. Wilson up top, and I think the next attacking player, was Ryan Fraser, and after that, Hendrick and
Hendrick,
Hayden. Yeah, to be fair,
I agree actually, because I haven't really watched that much of Newcastle this year. Not all the Geordies moaning about Steve Bruce, and in my head I'm thinking, you know what, they're still getting results, but if you're setting up like that against Sheffield United away from home, who've got 2 points, they literally had like Wilson by himself, and then Fraser was the only other attacking player.
Yeah,
Longstaff and Hayden and
I think like them 2 teams last night were probably like the worst 2 teams you could possibly watch in the Prem. As in, like, I know Newcastle aren't the worst, as in there are worse teams, but when you watch them, they must be the worst team to watch. Honestly, they're absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, they're absolutely garbage.
They need big Andy Kazzer up top. That's what they need.
I'd actually play him over any of them and put Wilson behind him, but God knows he doesn't know. I used to, do you know Ainsley, Ryan Ainsley, Geordie fan? Weeks and weeks and weeks ago, or months ago, he'd moan about it and that, and I'd say, listen, you're getting the results exactly like you just said, Chan. I said it's fine to play that defensive game like against bigger teams, but then the more I watched them, because I had Wilson and I would try and watch as many games as I can for my fantasy players, I was realising that they actually are really bad against everyone. And then West Brom not long ago, that was unbelievably bad performance, and they just mimicked it with Sheffield United the other night.
Yeah, definitely. So just going on this double game week for next week, who were the players that were fancying, who were tipping basically?
Who were tipping? I think I'm tipping it. Yeah, you've mentioned it previously, but a West Ham defender. I think a West Ham defender will do well. What, Burnley and West Brom at home, is it? So
yeah.
I'm not sure like which one out of them I'd go for, but I'm debating getting one of them. Obviously, Man City have 2 decent fixtures as well, Palace and Villa at home. But I don't know still whether they're clicking or not. I'm not sure. But so they're probably the 2 teams I'm looking at.
What about you, Tony?
I think a big dog like De Bruyne, I think he's a vital captain option for this double game week, and a lot of people are getting him now as well, aren't they? So I think that'll be most people's go-to. Jack Harrison as well. Was Southampton first or Brighton first their game?
Brighton. Brighton first.
Yeah, I think it was Brighton. So yeah, him as well. If he plays, which he should, I think he's a good tip.
Yeah, I was thinking on Raphinha actually.
Yeah,
he's got 5.5. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists since he came in the team came week 8. Obviously now he's only down to 1 game. It makes him less attractive. Tell you else, who tip could be quite a good one now. Mikel Antonio.
Yeah,
I think Haller's gone. He's gone to Ajax.
Yeah,
he's got some good fixtures. The only issue is he's probably a bit too early because he's just came back from injury. He's not really got any game time under himself, but
and they've got a new goal scorer for them now, don't they?
Oh yeah, Big Thomas.
Yeah.
How you say it? How you say it? Meme Oblanim Hrachem J Thomas Suchek.
Meme Oblanim Hrachem Thomas.
Shut up, the fairies, man. Fair play. But yeah, Antonio's not that expensive at 6.2. If he's playing regular, of course he's going to score.
Yeah, and I think for next week I'll show the teams that we've got. What about bench boost then? Are you thinking about it? Obviously, look, we're all head-to-head players, so we're all kind of save your chips. But if you're a classic player, I would probably recommend using a bench boost. You've got 16 games next week. I think 12 have double game weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
If it's whatever time, it's more than ever. And, I'm like I was saying, I was getting stuck with who I could play. I could play like all 15 of them. What do you think on that? Bench boost. Obviously, look at it from like a classic point of view as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I think there's no better time to be playing bench boost. If you're in classic league and it's like a double game week, it's just whether you do have the players on the bench who will play. I mean, we've seen earlier on in the season, was it Matty Tunstall who played a bench boost when he had like one sub who was playing? So I think if you've got a that's playing, because if not, I think sometimes in the future you can build up to playing a bench boost, if you know what I mean. So if it was double game week in, I don't know, 3-4 weeks time, you can sort of like slowly start to transfer your players. So you've got like a playing bench basically.
Yeah, and I mean, Dave Rawson, he's been speaking to me. He's already told me he's going to bench boost, I think, next week. Tony, what do you think about the bench boost? I'm guessing you're not using it.
You are?
I'm guessing you're not using it.
No, you done a little trick that inspired me last season when we played that little spin-off cup and you used it with your triple captain in the playoffs or whatever. So I'm saving it for that. I will not use a chip unless I'm 6 to 8 weeks away and I'm not in the playoffs. But I understand what you mean in the classical game. It's a beneficial like chip to use right now. But even still, it depends on your position in the league, I'd say. If you're there or thereabouts, don't use anything. Save them as an absolute pull you out the shitter type of tool.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to save them for the playoffs, but first and foremost, I need to make sure I make them. So if I'm still like, if it's a bit nip or tuck, last few game weeks, and I literally just need to win to at least get in the playoffs, and I'll probably use it. To be fair, I think the main getting in the playoffs.
I've got like a set window where if it goes past that mark and I'm worried, I'm going to have to use something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was saying, just depends on your situation. Like some people obviously wildcarded this week and then going to bench boost next week in the hope that in the head-to-head league that they'll win this week and next week, and there's 6 points there. Just maximise it. But, I mean, we're all like doing okay, doing quite well, quite content with our teams, I'd say. But
yeah,
see how it goes.
Yeah,
I'll be like 9 in a row now if COVID hadn't forced me to lose all my games.
It's only affected you, hasn't it, Tony?
Do you know what, mate? I'll give you your due too. When I beat you, it was a bit of luck when you lost the Spurs game. I feel bad for that one.
Yeah, was that when? I can't remember. I can't remember when that was now. To be honest,
It was just after the. Yeah.
Yeah.
You lost. Did you lose Kane? Maybe Son Kane.
I think it was Nip. I think he was still probably in a better position, but that just sort of like killed it, really, didn't it?
And Burke got booked and Kilman lost his clean sheet in the 90th or something. Yeah. Either way, he got smashed.
Shite, man.
That's it. It's a bipolar game, I think. I think after 1 week when you win and everything, it's the best game ever. But one little like thing that goes against you, or a bit of luck, or COVID, the worst game. So obviously with that, I mean, got a bit of a question for you then. So FPL, luck versus skill debate. Is there like a little bit of luck that goes along with, research and being skillful at the game?
Definitely. I think definitely this year more than any year. It's like, with all the postponements, what happening all the time, players getting injured and stuff. And then also in head-to-head, it's like you do need to sometimes play against people to just who are having a bad week, or, you can finish like with the second most points in that week, and you can just like be unlucky and play against a person with who'd finish top and lose. It's just like I was looking at the few people above me in the Stano, and then the 3 out of the 4 people above me. So overall points, I've got more overall points by 65 points, 91 and 105.
Freaking hell, that's a big margin.
They're above me, so you do actually need a bit of luck. Yeah, you do. Especially
100%. That's how it feels now. It's like a game of poker, in it. Like you have to think so much and play it so right, but then you can still lose.
That's a good analogy. That poker, because obviously there is a lot of skill in that, but
yeah,
like you were saying, you do need that little bit of luck, like you say, more than ever this year. There's, games getting called off left, right, and centre. I mean, I even
as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's Iceland. I remember actually. Sorry, I just remember another point that I think it was 3 years ago, 2017 to 18. I don't know why I remember this, but I do because I felt really proper hard done by. But I finished with the third most points overall. Finished 10th. You know what I mean? I just don't think head to head for me. I'm not the best like overall, but I think I probably suit it more than head to head. I'm just like, it's just not for me. I don't think I'll ever win, to be honest. I'll never win. I'll never win the whole thing. I won't even make the playoffs. And I'm on this bloody podcast.
I'm sure you're all right. But yeah, I think like no matter like all the stats that you look into, sometimes you can't account for like people like Salah not scoring against like West Brom and Sheffield United, Newcastle, things like that. There was some lucky assists, I mean, Vardy and Bamford were lucky assists that went against me this year. You had Mahrez last year in the final, didn't you, Ryan?
Yeah.
I mean, there still is some skill because, you got to do your analysis, look at all these stats like shots in the box, these underlying stats that do help. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, with skill, it is sometimes best to use these stats rather than going on plays off a hunch, like Walcott, Doucouré, or Redmond, and people like that.
It still is a majority skill, yeah, but you do need a little bit of luck as well. I'm just watching a Man City game, that's why I'm just a little bit distracted. I just need De Bruyne and Cancelo as well, and a clean sheet would do.
Well, yeah, I could still pull it out the bag with De Bruyne hat-trick, considering he's playing striker now all the time, isn't he? But even though he doesn't suit that position at all for me. But yeah, let me know if he scores 3 goals. I might close him out.
Yeah. I'm in a sticky position actually because I'm kind of like, I need Kane to do well against Johnny Walker, but not do very well against Stay, and then I need De Bruyne to do very well against Stay, but not very well for Johnny Walker, who's got him captain. So either way, I don't think it's going to happen.
I can't like root against myself in either league now, whereas I was doing that like the duration of the beginning of the season because I was like 2nd in one league and then like 18th in the other. But now I'm 8th in both, so like I can't like choose a side. I just need to get going again somehow. Hopefully get next week out the way, clear it up a bit, and we might be semi back to normal. If not, I want my money back.
I think out of the two, I prefer to beat Johnny Walker just because he's only got 5 people. With Steve, because he's wildcarded, I've resigned myself that I've lost. I mean, this week my thought process was I was just gonna like not touch the team at all, leave Salah for next week and just concede it. And I even debated getting like Gundogan in for something different, and I kind of wish I did now, just for because when you're behind in the first week when there's not many games, it's quite hard to get it back, and having people that are the same.
Yeah, just cancels out, doesn't it?
Yes, you need an early this week.
You just proved that luck is a big part of this. As if you just said Steve wildcarded, right? Stupid move. He won our league last year, so there's your proof that luck exists.
Not that you're bitter or anything.
Have some of that.
Saying that, he did get lucky for that last assist.
Lucky, against lucky as when it comes to football.
Never assist in my life. That never an assist. It's just like, it was dodgy one. Honestly, I don't even want to.
Right. So, quick question, actually, like on actual players, who do you think are the unluckiest players in FPL?
Right.
Oh, that's you.
I've been thinking about this one, and you've got to hear me out on this one because it sounds daft, but I'm going to go Salah. Right. Simply being bonus. Never gets bonus, right? I was looking at the stats, right? And so he's scored in 9 separate games, and he's only got 3 bonus twice, right? He's a 3rd point top scorer, like overall, and highest goal scorer in the league, and he's joint 7th bonus bonus scorer in the league, joint with Bamford and Ings. So you just like give the ball away in that a lot. He just miss chances. But when it comes to bonus, he just never gets in. Like Harry Kane, I think he's scored in like 9 different games and he's got 3 bonus 8 times. I think Bruno's
he does.
well. Like they're like 23 and 22 bonus, I think, and Salah's on like 13. Like I just think that's hit me. It's absolutely shocking.
I totally agree. There's certain players, I mentioned it earlier with Kane, that always get 3 bonus no matter what. And he never slips in. And he's always my captain. And
doesn't give the ball away, does he?
He just scores chances and doesn't like... It's best to literally just have like 1 chance and score than have like
loads of...
3 chances and then score 1 and then obviously miss. I know it's bad like missing chances, but it's like missing the target and stuff, you get minus points. But I just think Salah's proper hard done by.
Yeah, I agree.
Bonus system shite, that's why.
Yeah, it's really bad. I can't stand it, mate.
Yeah, I think we've all had a bit of a moan about that this year, but
yeah.
I mean,
who do you think?
I don't know if you want to go first, Tony, or do you want me to?
Go on, you're already talking. There's no point stopping you.
I mean, to be honest, mine's not. I don't have as much stats as that. I was just going to pick out players who I thought, look quite good, but not quite. You get like your Trossards, who good players, create a bit, but they're never putting chances away, Brighton. And then there's that game in Man United where you hit the woodwork twice.
Oh, is that the one I want? De Bruyne. Sorry.
Who did?
De Bruyne.
Oh, obviously missed. Standard or what?
He went to put it through his legs. Fucking hell.
Game, man. That'd have been 18 points in the bag there.
That's sick.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say him. It's always seemed to be wingers, I think. Jared Bowen, he's another one. Looks very good. Puts a lot of crosses in. He's a good player.
Yeah, he
but he's only got 4 goals.
Yeah.
And then Theo as well. I'll back my mate Theo.
You love him.
He looks a threat. He looks a threat in some games, but never gets any goal scoring opportunities or doesn't finish them.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
What about you then, Bucko?
Wing backs, Lamptey. I've watched a lot of their games this season. One of the best games I watched this season was actually them against Villa. He puts it on a plate so much. Maupay doesn't necessarily get in the right positions for him, but Lallana, when he's not poorly with his poorly bones, he like creeps in behind him and he misses a lot. Welbeck, like lack of quality, lets him down a lot. He'd have so many more assists if he was playing with other players with a bit more quality.
Yeah, they're not very clinical, Brighton, are they? They always seem to like... They're a team that look like, they play nice and they do play nice football and you think they're quite good to watch, but they just look like easy to beat, spineless.
Yeah.
Roy Keane.
I think finishers and Lamptey would have so many more points. He's like a skinnier version of Traore, the way he plays.
They're like a nice team, aren't they? Like Lallana and Lamptey and people like Solly March. They're like probably nice lads, but they need someone to like get stuck in a bit more on that. There's no grit.
Yeah. I think like Potter's a bit like he's a bit like a reverse Tony Pulis, I think.
Yeah.
Where they play football but they don't get the results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
I like him.
I do quite like him.
Yeah,
I like him. He's one of my like top managers this season because I love how he forces the attacking play and he doesn't really care even though he knows his team's quite poor. I quite enjoy the way they play football this year.
Yeah. What have you got in your hand there?
Well, look first, skill on the topic. I haven't had a chance earlier, so the garlic. They're looking down on my last clove, actually.
Is that an out-of-date grave?
I'm down on my last clove, so I'm hoping it brings me a bit of luck today.
Ain't happening, mate. Game's nearly over, isn't it?
You do actually believe in that garlic, don't you? Do you think that's...
I do.
Do you think that's
what happened?
Your top? Do you think it's luck v skill v garlic? And I think 90% of it is garlic. 1% skill, 9% luck. That's why you're top.
I think it is. No, but yeah, I like. Well, there was a 1 week I didn't have it, and I ended up losing. And then I brought it back, and I got some lucky results. Like Toby Millwall beat him. when I was like, I had no right to really. And then out of my field, I've just managed to hold him off, like enough. And I think since I've had it, I've won 5 out of 6 games. So hopefully it brings us a bit of luck.
Yeah.
Lend us a bit.
Yeah, I will be. Definitely.
I've got us some free promo this week, actually. I was meaning to tell you. I've got a interview, like a paid interview through the publisher. It's for like new students going to uni. Do you know when they make like videos, introduction videos? And they want interviews of like young authors from Teesside and that. So I'm going to talk about the podcast on there and get some more views and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pod.
That's what you're doing now. Sack the book, man. I'm on a podcast, man.
Pass the pod.
That's the pod.
Yeah.
Ouchie.
Yeah,
well,
publisher was asking for loads of links and that for like what we're going to talk about and what I want to set. So obviously I do the books, but I'm put the podcast link on as well, and they'll put that up on the video and all that lot.
Good lads. Good
Fresh meat, boys.
Hear that?
Yeah, we'll have to think of ways to pass the pod, won't we? Like, obviously we've got like Facebook, Twitter, you know, usual social media. We need to think of some creative ways, I think.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for a reply from Cash. He's going to put a retweet it for us and that.
Oh yeah, best mate.
Him and Karanga, yeah.
Well, I've got like a bit of fun anyway. But I don't know when to go into it, and it depends how like much you get involved in it really. So I've called it. It's about being an FPL manager, you gotta have like the right temperament, don't you? Like whether you're hot-headed, cold-headed. So I've called this like the boiling kettle or an ice cube, and I'm gonna list like a name of celebrities, and you just gotta like just say what you think, how you think they'll be FPL managers, and how they'll react. And so it depends how much you buy into it, really.
Right.
So, what would you say if Donald Trump was an FPL manager? Boiling kettle, ice cube.
Boiling kettle. Boiling
kettle.
I think boiling
definitely.
Kettle, stuck in his own ways.
Yeah.
He'd probably try and play like a 2-5-3 if you could.
Yeah, but no foreigners though. You wouldn't be playing any Fernandez or Martinez or Rodriguez or anything like that. Nah, they won't.
We'll have Tarkovsky and Ben Mee at the back.
Yeah, not allowed. That's it.
Just be like,
when De Bruyne blanks, he'll send the boys around to fill him in, man.
Yeah.
We'll have riots at the stadiums. Yeah, sack him, maybe shy.
Okay, right. Boris Johnson.
You only have Arsenal, only London clubs, players allowed. Nothing from nothing from yeah. Only the rich clubs.
Only teams who play in blue. No, that's what I love. But Ice Cube, I think it'd be an Ice Cube. Probably chilled out.
Yeah, but I think like he won't be able to make a decision because he's very indecisive, isn't he? So he'll be like, so we'll get Diaz, but you can't play Diaz with Stones, and no, we've got Robertson, and then no, we'll get Bruno, and don't do this, but do that, but spend all our money. But stay 2 meters away.
Oh look, I've got Marcus Rashford in my team. That's what he'll be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't be allowed in his team. Not
team.
His team would be going hungry. He wouldn't feed them.
On the phone to him. So just a couple of more before we go, actually. Trent Alexander-Arnold, what would you say about him?
Oh, he'd definitely play 5 at the back, all wing backs, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think he'd like it. He'd have him in Robbo, wouldn't he? I think he'd definitely have himself anyway. He's a type of guy who sort of like
loves himself.
And the goals that he's getting, wouldn't he? So maybe he won't have Robbo. Maybe he might not.
Yeah, he wouldn't want the
competition, didn't it?
The competition, just him, and he'd captain himself every week as well, even when he's injured.
I think he would. It's a hot kettle manager, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be. Well, because I heard anyway, he's another one then, Patrick Bamford, because he captains himself as FPL manager.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Of course he does. He's a Tory.
Yeah, he's straight from the Conservative Party conference. Like,
yeah. I think if he put some effort into it, though, I think he could be quite good because he seems quite an intelligent lad.
yeah.
He knows the inside information from Leeds, who's starting, or he might have some friends of other clubs, so like who's starting. And he seems quite he's a smart lad, isn't he? So
Could have went to Harvard.
Yeah,
could have went to Harvard. That's how smart he is.
Yeah, he definitely had a backup plan for if he failed at football. Like, he definitely born in a 5-bedroom house in Surrey, got a trust fund, all that lot.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
Probably play the violin on the weekend or something.
Yeah.
You know what? I think he might. You know, I think I've heard that. I don't know where, but unless I've just made that up myself.
Yeah, let's ask him. Let's just start tweeting.
I'll get his number off Cashy.
Right. How was City doing anyway, just before we go?
Still 0-0. Brighton have had one chance with Trossard, but they haven't really. There's not many chances apart from that De Bruyne one, really.
Back to you, Jeff, in the studio.
0-0. Yeah, not much going on.
Almost as good as.
I think whenever we've been live, there's been like no goals, and that's what the audience want. They want to see us off. They want to see us cheering and this and that, and they're not getting anything. They're not getting anything from it.
Need to watch for him, man. Goals this year.
Right. Does anything else that you want to add?
Nearly Gundogan. Back stick. Nearly. He crossed it back, sort of to Foden. But anyway, yeah, forget that. Go on.
Anything else you want to add?
All I want to say is, do not get Arsenal players. Please listen to me. They're going to not even score against the Geordies and they're going to lose to Southampton. Don't do it. Ryan, get them out.
Well,
see ya.
They're only in from a free hit, mate. Don't worry about that. Just in for this game.
I just worry about you. I like you, man. I like you, don't
I? I'm not that daft. I won't get Arsenal, mate.
So that's it.
Cheers, Tony.
No worries, mate.
Right, okay. Well, just remember to give us a like, follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on YouTube and also on audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. Gentlemen, see you later.
Thank you very much.
See you later. Cheers. Don't get Arsenal players. Bye.